Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I wanted to give a tutorial on how we use sections using the Elementor theme builder. So Elementor has a lot of different design elements that we're able to use, columns, themes, different cool features for marketing like slides I've done in a different video. And today I want to show you sections because there's different ways to utilize sections, and we have what we believe is the most effective and proper way of using sections. So what I have here up on the screen is one of our brew themes. That's the Ballen Real Estate website themes. It's our theme one. And I wanted to kind of use this as a demo, and I'll also show you on our business websites that we also build outside of real estate how we're utilizing the same strategy no matter what websites we're building. So we do build our websites on WordPress, and we use the Elementor theme builder to kind of help our clients get a little bit more out of what they're doing, a little easier to edit. So we're going to go ahead and use this example here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Edit with Elementor after I'm already logged into my WordPress admin. And the page is now going to load with the Elementor screen up for us to review. So what you're going to see is there's a lot of different elements to the page, and what we would call sections of the page would be like the header and the body and the footer. But sections, more specifically in Elementor, does represent a specific element on the page that we're going to review here. So sections are actually defined, you can see them by this little blue tab that shows up. So we have the ability to add a section, we can edit the section that's already there, and we can delete the section. So that's kind of the thing. But you'll notice the thin blue line that shows up around the actual, this whole section part. And when we get into another section, you'll see the thin blue line go to the next one. So that's going to happen all the way down the page. You'll see this is a section, scroll down further, this is a section. Now, what's more evident about how we use sections, or where you're going to tell the difference of sections and what we build, is by this slight background color variation. So you'll see this light gray background that we use. That's all part of one section. And then the white background, and then we go into that gray one again. So this is a way to kind of dictate the different areas or different sections of the page. Okay, so one of the things that if you've ever used Gutenberg, for example, everything's done, if you use Gutenberg blocks, that everything's done as an individual element. So for example, this is the header tag. So that was a block. Then you'd have some content, that was a block. And then you'd have a button, that was a block. So it kind of trained us to every individual element was a different block. Well, in Elementor, we want to have groupings, things that are more grouped together. So we use sections instead of kind of individual blocks like we might use in Gutenberg. So in this particular instance, we recommend, best use here is to have some sort of a heading. In every section you're going to use, you're going to have a heading, you're going to have some content, and then you might have, say a link or a button off to something else. Okay, so that is a good practice to use. So we don't necessarily want a different section for each element that we drag over. We would like to keep things grouped together. Now there's a couple reasons why we do this. One is because it helps us better. Let's say I wanted to easily move some of these around. I can actually drag this whole section up to a different area and put it above. But if I had each of these elements individually, I'd have to drag each one up to do that. I can also save this whole section as an actual template for me to use on another page, which then means, again, I've already got the header out there, I've got the content, and I've got a button. So I've got a nice, easy to use element here, right, from page to page if I want to use it that way. Another way that we use this is also how the coding is in the background. Now, most of us who are not web developers don't pay attention to the coding, the HTML that happens behind the scenes. But that is something that plays a role in our overall search results and how we are going to rank on the search engines, how quickly the page loads, things of that nature. So by having less sections, because every section has a certain amount of code that starts it and stops it and what's in between it. So by having things more grouped together, we're also reducing the amount of code that we're using to build the page. Okay. So again, this was a real estate website. I'm going to jump over to our actual business website as well. So our ballenbrands.com website, we would consider a business website. And this is one of our pages that's actually promoting the real estate websites. But when this page loads, you'll also see here that we're using that same strategy, that each of these different sections, when you hover over, you see what's defined. So we've got a header. Let's scroll down here. We've got all these different pieces. Now, this is the overall section, and then we have, an image to the left. So we've got a column within, 2 columns within the section. And then, of course, down here further, we can have buttons that link off to other things. We've got our different styles. So all of this is specifically designed in sections where we have, again, our header. We've got some content. And then only in some instances do we have a section within a section. So it's a very rare that we have it. We chose this route on this particular page because of the way we're laying out and how Elementor uses columns and how they stretch all that. But in most cases, we're going to have everything contained within the different elements. So again, sections are meant specifically for chunks of the website. So a certain area, section of the website, which makes sense. They're added by simply just hitting the little plus sign around another section. And you'll see I can jump in to select what I want this particular section to look like. So I'm just going to start with the general thing, and then I'm going to go over here to my areas. I'm going to drag a heading over to that section, and then I can go back to my area or my widgets over here. I can grab some text to put underneath that section, right? Go back to my widgets over here, and I can drag a button underneath that. So all of this is within one section. And now I can control that whole section, like the background colors, how it shows up on the page, how much padding to give it, all within that one space. But anything I do is going to affect that entire contents of that particular section. So hopefully that helped. This is definitely something that we feel is a good way to lay out the pages. Again, give you a little more efficiency, hopefully make things a little easier in the structure and how you're organizing your page, help the page load faster, give you better search results. Really just a good way to utilize this. If you have any questions, you can email us at team@ballenbrands.com.